This is a rant about DMC1 Dante. One of my viewers on my Twitch channel wanted my opinion on a post someone made on a GameFaqs forum a few weeks ago. So here's my opinion on that and why I feel Hideki Kamiya's Dante is superior. Wait, DMC, the reboot DMC? I mean, that has good gameplay, but yeah, the story is whack. I think you oh yeah, I think you sent me something. Wait a minute, you want to read this together? A little long. I don't know if y'all can see it that well. Problem with the franchise isn't the games and who is this? Remembered. Problem with the franchise isn't the games itself. It's how most people are just going to be horribly confused at how grossly inconsistent the whole franchise is. I mean, that's not. I mean, that's how I feel. It's like every other game. Like 2's bad and 4's just okay because they didn't finish the freaking campaign properly. Games 2 is garbage, but maintains an eerie atmosphere. Kind of, not as good as 1. 1's superior for environment. 3, it feels an afterthought. 3 has some good level design, though. A lot better than 2, that's for sure. 3 is like, I don't know, it's up there, though. Because DMC reboot actually has, I gotta give it to that for good level design with the reboot, even if the story's bad. There aren't many places where you can immerse yourself in the atmosphere because even when there are quiet areas, there's practically nothing to see. From combat to combat and from boss to boss, there's so much liminal space inside of the towers full of quirky areas like Nevin's soundstage that gets used for a cutscene. But what's the lore there? It feels so out of place. This is like an ancient demon tower, but it's fully equipped with a sound system and pyrotechnics. What? Okay, but like literally Dante dances in 5 out of nowhere. There's like spotlights on them, and then there's freaking like the pyrotechnics there too. Just there because it's cool. You aren't supposed to think about that. Yeah, that's true. Unless Dante can summon pyrotechnics, maybe that's the maybe that's part of his demon power or whatever, devil trigger pyrotechnics. DMC1 is full of environmental storytelling, even if you ignore many text prompts, hinting at the long gone Castellan's implied lore with, for example, statues of ancients, angels, and gods here and there. Even DMC2 has some of those large derelict urban areas. If you squint a little, imagine it all filled with fog, almost passed for Silent Hill-esque. We don't even need to talk about gameplay to tell these games apart. All in art direction, level design, world building. 3 doesn't concern itself with that much at all. You're pretty much thrown into the Hell Tower from the start, and everything inside is incredibly random, except for the giant statue in the background in one of the areas. You know, the one with the beak that kind of looks like a bird head. Yeah, no, that's a combat adjudicator. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Just realized the other day. Big ass bells with angels clinging to him, but that's really only focused on in one cutscene. DMC3's environments to be lacking. There's a lot of gray and dull. There's a lot of good designs though for 3's levels. 3 has the best story, bar none. On the other hand, 1 and 2 stories were fine. Trilogy maintains themes of family, parental issues, revenge, human heart, love, etc., and that's super important. But as wild and absurd DMC3 gets, sometimes it's downright beautifully written and performed. Finally, gameplay, it's only a contest between 1 and 3, and that's really only a matter of opinion. Sometimes I'd rather be playing 1, just because it's so solid and straightforward, with only a bit of jank in the controls and the camera. 3 smoother, but busier, invites creativity, but when you try to just kill everything as fast as possible, it starts to feel like busy work, especially on DMD. Yeah, DMD was so grindy for me. Well, because I'm garbage at it, and I had to grind for a bunch of items. I had to use a bunch of 20 devil stars to beat Virgil 3. Just thinking about Arkham. Yeah, and the Arkham fight sucks because you can't double trigger in the second phase. Just think about Arkham, Garyon, Gigapede, Leviathan. I don't know. I'm terrible at pronouncing these names. Leviathan, that's it, right? Hardcore, ugh. Combat is great, but playing through it from beginning to end often feels like a grind. It's just so tedious to me. It's not like DMC1 where each run is relatively short and generally well-paced. Yeah, I mean, 1 has, 3 or 4 missions that are super short. I think if I recommended someone to play 1, I would remind them that the game isn't like the rest. Yeah, that's how I feel. Like when I tell people like Resident Evil fans, I'm like, you might like 1 because it plays, you know, it has Resident Evil-esque essence to it, where the other games don't, and I kind of miss that, to be honest. But then being enveloped by that Evil Island's environments, it almost necessitates an appreciation of the environments and lore, for lack of a better word. Certainly a mood that simply has never been followed up. Yeah, I mean, the atmosphere is the best in 1. Series never got a proper sequel. Dante's never been the same again either. Oh yeah, you don't gotta tell me about that. Nobody cares about that. I care! I care! I am the one who cares that his personality changed. That's why I everybody glazes 3, but honestly, Dante is too immature in 3, because even though he's younger in the novel, which Hideki Kamiya helped write, he's more mature in that, despite being younger in that too. So that's the thing. I don't like it. I think he's kind of a jerk a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit. Like, I don't think Kamiya would have written them that way. And I know Kamiya doesn't care because he was like, hey, just do whatever you want. But still, like, yeah, no, one Dante is not the same as the other Dantes. I care. I care. I want one Dante back. I want his personality for 1 back. I think 3, because he was so quiet in 2, because the producer hated Dante in 2 and they made him super quiet, and they weren't even going to have him in the game until the last minute. They were going to put a new character in there. I feel like they overcompensated with his personality in 3 because he was so quiet in 2. Almost nobody's cared about the storytelling all these years. Even when DMC did it so well, it was downright killed by 4 and 5 to file that corpse so badly. Whoever this person is, I'm not part of GameFaqs. Tell them I care. Tell them I care. I care that Dante's personality isn't the same. I care. I care, I do. Oh, it's not the same. Kamiya's Dante's different. Actually, I'm pretty sure I tweeted about that too. Yeah, I think it was when it was right before Netflix came out. I talked about it. I care. I care. I care that his personality's changed. I want one Dante's personality back. Yeah, so somebody argued with me about this because I said Hideki Kami's Dante, DMC2 Dante, Itsuno, and Bingo's Dante, and Adi Shankar's Dante are all different takes on the same character, for better or worse. That was before Netflix came out. Just like comic books feature both great and terrible stories due to different writers, it's good to have proven. And then this person argued, DMC's not a theology that keeps soft rebooting. All the mainline games share some traits. They act slightly different because they're at very different ages. And Adi Shankar's Dante is nothing like any of it. If anything, he's worse than Dante. They aren't different interpretations, like how Batman is interpreted different by movie directors. They all build off one another and are tied. It's the character development that changes Dante. And my argument was, Dante has changed from what Hideki Kamiya envisioned. DMC2's producer hated Dante, made him quiet. Bingo Morihashi, writer of DMC 3 through 5, said his and Itsuno's Dante isn't like Kamiya's, and Netflix Dante will probably be distinct, which was. He's very different. And then, yeah. Even Hideki Kamiya, like, there's tons of tweets where he says, this is not my Dante, whenever somebody shows him 3 Dante, right? And then there's the DMC2 team. Dante's sudden change into a more taciturn character was the producer's decision because he didn't like the joke-cracking wise-ass Dante from 1. So yeah, that's a different Dante too. And then here's Bingo talking about it. Players have mentioned that the Dante and DMC3 seems different, but that's because he's less Kamiya's Dante and more product of the entire team's will. They used DMC1 Dante as inspiration, but there was really no way to surpass what Kamiya-san had created. The way Dante goes up against the world alone makes him an awesome character in my eyes. Yeah, here, I followed up with, people create theories for why 2 Dante is different, when the only reason is the producer hated him. 2 Dante's shift was not because he aged and character growth, it was complete rejection of his core traits, which is true because the producer hated him. Yes, they've tied and built up Dante's arc since then because they had to in order to continue the story with him. Different writers have unique ideas for the same character. That's what Dante has had. And then I said before, Netflix came out, it was too early to judge him based off that one clip. And I said his vision of Dante could be terrible, but I'm going to wait and judge when the series was out. And that's what I said. And honestly, it was different, but it wasn't terrible different, Very few people care as much as there's people who do care. There's fans of one Dante that want him, you know, that prefer his personality. If anything, we all prefer his tan, okay? Why did they get rid of his tan? I don't understand why they got rid of his tan. That's part of the contracts against the silverish white hair, you know? Why'd they get rid of his tan? Nice problem. Oh, okay, Cryos. Okay, yes, Cryos. I'm very privileged, and I'm, you know, I was able to afford all these statues because I saved up my money, because I was privileged enough to be in a safe environment where I could save my money and all that stuff. Okay.
A new demon hunter has arrived.
Thank you for the follow. And I'm privileged enough I can play games and talk to y'all, because there's some people in the world that can't do that, and they're in horrible living situations. So I acknowledge that, you know, I have a better easygoing life than some people. Marry my statues? You know, that's if I end up, like, let's say I died next year or something, like, where am I? I literally, I'm not kidding. I want him to be at least somehow put on my gravestone, but you would have to weatherize it or something. I don't know how you would do it, because the weather elements would get him, but everybody else. Epoxy it, maybe. Or, like, you know how they have those special underground, what do you call them? Like, you can go under, you know how it's like, some graveyards have like a special area where you go underground. It's like a special, what do you call it? I don't know. Anyway, somebody's got to figure out how to get him to be my tombstone. But I need, if my statues go to anybody, it's got to be somebody who appreciates Dante. The other ones, I mean. Because I ain't gonna live forever, you know? Is that what it's called? How do you pronounce it? Mausoleum? Mausoleum. Don't have your body better. You may have you dust in a coffin with all your Dante stuff. No, don't turn these into dust. Oh, are you mean like make me dust and just have the statues? Oh, but then you would have to bury them. Oh no. Don't dust them. I don't want them to be dusted. That would be awful. God, I already worry about, like, what if there's like a flood or a fire or earthquake, you know, like people's collections in general. Like, I saw one photo where this guy's collection, it was, I guess it was glass shelves, and it was like it all collapsed. There's only like one statue remaining. It's like, oh, that's such a nightmare. I kind of worry about that too, like if my tables are gonna be I think it would stand the weight so far. They have, but you know. Bro, I acknowledge that too. I agree with him. But yes, I agree. I that's why I say that's why I would be happy if Kamiya did do a remake, because at least it would be his Dante again. But honestly, I would be happy if he made another, make it PS2, same engine as DMC1, just make a sequel. I'd be happy with that too. The true sequel to DMC. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I don't need fancy graphics. Heck, I think Dante's handsome in this. At least the cutscene version is. Yeah, sometimes it does. I feel like 4 kind of was like that, because 4 got a lot of glazed like reviews, and I feel like the graphics just wowed people the most about that game. Like it I don't know, like, don't get me wrong, the graphics were nice, they still are, they still hold up, but